All right, everybody, what's going on? This is another episode of First and Framerates. I am a virtual footballer, and this is the Silent Sports Network. And today I have another guest with me, along with my co-host, but we're going to introduce him second. First, we're going to go with Bills. What's going on, man?
What's good, man? Just chilling, ready to dive into a bunch of good topics today.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. It's going to be slightly off the gaming stuff. We're going to dab a little bit into that, but it's going to be mostly some real sports stuff, especially with the football season starting. And we do have a guest. He's no stranger. Maybe to this channel he is, but from the old channel I had, he was on various of of the discussions I had. And welcome him back. Pooh, what's going on, man?
I am doing great. Hello, everyone.
You sound so bland. You're not doing
I
great.
was about to say, man, stop over here sounding like you reading off a teleprompter. I am doing great.
I am doing
How
great.
the hell are ya?
How are you guys doing?
Right, like, man, come on.
I had Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But anyway, like I said, we got a lot of topics going to get into. First and foremost, if you haven't been following sports, you've known that Ezekiel Elliott has been under a lot of scrutiny lately with the domestic violence situation and the way that the NFL has handled it. And we just come to find out, I passed it on to these guys, that Roger Goodell did attempt to suspend Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games without going through the proper channels. Well, I'm not going to say proper, but the logical channels of going behind every situation and dotting his I's and crossing his T's, as far as listening and talking to the investigator who did investigate the accuser and try to find out what she thought about the accuser in the interview. In other words, that the accuser did not come off as credible to the investigator who was hired by Roger Goodell in the NFL, and that was not taken into consideration, and they still ended up suspending him for 6 games. And to add on to that, the NFLPA, they filed a lawsuit in the state of Texas to get a restraining order on the NFL to block the suspension of Ezekiel Elliott, because they feel that the NFL withheld evidence to that would exonerate Ezekiel Elliott. So there's a lot of stuff right there, and there's a lot of bullshit going on, in my opinion. But since Pooh is here and he is the Eagles fan, and I know I'm kind of curious to figure out how he feels about this. So I'm going to ask him first. With all that just been added on to the situation, what do you think about it?
Honestly, I think it's bullshit with how they are actually doing Zeke Elliott. Normally, I would never talk about situations like this, because it's the whole thing going with division rivals, or I wouldn't talk about it in general. But really, I think that it's all bullshit with how Rodgers going about doing it, because it feels like that they really just want him to miss games for whatever reason. So, how I see the situation is, looking at it unbiasedly, it's kind of fucked up.
I think it is too, because to me, I feel like they were just out to get him all along. Bills, what do you think about the situation?
I mean, we spoke about this before we came on the podcast. We're dealing with a league that investigated itself to see whether they had the tapes of Ray Rice beating his wife's ass on an elevator before they handed down the two-game suspension, and then they turned around and acted like some type of shock value was going to come from that when they added 6 games onto it. So, I mean, how can we really trust a league like this? They had a witch hunt as far as Deflategate's concerned. As far as Spygate is concerned, they pretty much flubbed that discipline because Robert Kraft and Roger Goodell were in bed, whether it was literally or figuratively. I mean, this league has a history of doing bullshit like this. They try to make examples out of people. They end up making themselves look stupid because most times the courts don't hand down any type of discipline. And in general, it just seems like, how can the NFL players trust the Players Association for continuing to have this clown pass down these rulings, how can you agree on that every collective bargaining agreement? You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
I get it.
B, how can you trust him in general to be impartial about anything? He's the principal that suspends people for talking out of turn in class. Like, he hands down these heavy-handed rulings, and it's like he's just full of shit, man. Like, he needs to be gone.
Well,
You know what I think is really going to happen? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no,
you know
no,
what I
no.
think
Go
is
ahead, go
really
ahead,
going to
go ahead.
happen because of this whole thing is going down? I think we're about to get an NFL lockout part 2.
And I would be happy as hell about it.
We're
Well,
going
I
to be
mean, they got
doing
what?
this again.
They got what? Six more years on this contract to deal with this bullshit.
Yep.
So I mean, after that, it's going to be all hell break loose once the next CBA agreement talks come.
Jesus.
Yeah, once that happens. But I mean, like I said, this is a nightmare because now I'm gonna add this on and I'm gonna put this link down in the description. It's just a blog, but I'm pretty sure most of the stuff is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It says that the NFL spokesperson Joe Lockhart said that it's unequivocally absolutely false that the commissioner Roger Goodell was not aware of Keel Wright Roberts, that's the investigator, findings in the Ezekiel Elliott investigation before he imposed the discipline. So, like I said, it's like it's either that he knew, and it's like, and he just decided to. But now they're saying that they didn't know because. And to me, it's all confusing at this point because if he knew about, if he didn't know, it's like, well, you're not even paying attention to the people that you hired to do the job, and you're still just striking down 6 games, or then again, it's like you're just out to get this person because of the PR nightmare that you had in the earlier. With
I mean, let's go back to the Deflategate situation as far as the NFL is concerned. If we look at how they go about investigating things, they always get people who are working in conjunction with them that will that will come up with evidence that fits their agenda. I mean, you had a situation where you had several quarterbacks admit to tampering with footballs. That was not investigated. You had a situation where the footballs were clearly the right PSI when they were tested, and then sometime around halftime, things got a little bit shaky, and the whole time they found one person to convict in this and said it was more likely than not that he was, that he was in on it. It's like
it's not even,
more likely than not does not answer the question. It doesn't give you the
wait,
right to hand down a
but that's
suspension.
not the issue as far as who did what. It's the fact that how it was drawn out. Like you were
Yeah,
out to get Brady over
of
some of the
course.
smallest thing that wasn't really. It wasn't really there to say that he did what.
Of
Now
course.
I will now
It was a makeup suspension for Spygate.
now I will admit that it did look bad on Brady the fact that he got rid of his phone.
Oh, of course.
Now I get that. I do get it, but that still doesn't say you should be suspended for 4 games because at the end of the day, you don't know what he really did. If you want
Of
to
course
get him,
not.
if you want to get him for the cover up, fine. Suspend him for 1 game, suspend him for 2. We're suspending you because you tried to cover it up. I get that. Same thing with this whole thing with Ezekiel Elliott. It's like, look, we took everything into consideration and we still decided to do this. But now there are reports saying that he did look into it. Now some people saying that he didn't, and it's like nobody knows what's going on. It's just a botched situation. And like you said with Deflategate, let's go down the line and go even further. Look at Bountygate. Bountygate
I
is another
mean,
situation. Yeah,
oh, hell yeah.
those hits
Brett
on Brett
Favre.
Favre look nasty, but I
Hmm.
mean, you honestly think even if there was a bounty out there like that, how would it be able to get out to the forefront like that? And even if it did, can it be really proven? I mean, you could just have a bunch of hearsay, which basically that's what they had was a bunch
Yep.
of hearsay, and at the end of the day, Roger Goodell ended up having to give up, not suspending nobody, but throughout the whole fodder, what's his name? The coach for the Saints ended up having to lose a whole year of actually being a coach.
Did I
I
miss
But
mean,
anything?
I mean, no, not really. We're
Okay.
just still talking about the same topic. But I mean, Roger Goodell. I mean, it's pretty clear that he's unfit for this job, and the players don't respect him.
They
You
shouldn't.
even have these random drug tests with James Harrison. They claim a random drug test. He got drug tested 3 times last year.
Didn't he? Isn't he like the one that got drug
I
tested
remember.
most out of
Yeah,
anybody in NFL in the
by
past
far,
by the
by
past
far.
5 years?
It's not even close.
Wait, what's
And they
that?
call them random drug tests. Random. That's what they call them.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, they're really trying to get this man for some kind of weird use of steroids or PEDs.
I mean, my whole thing with that, with Roger Goodell in general, I mean, we all know that, and I mean, this could be argued that, we talked about it earlier saying that he brings money into the league, but I'm going to be honest with you, the players are the one that bring the money in the league. You see the product on the field and you cannot stop watching it. It ain't because of that clown. With that,
Oh, of course.
that's just my opinion. I don't cut on for the TV every Sunday just to see what Roger Goodell has to say. As far as I'm concerned, he can kick rocks.
No, of course not. But I always thought that the best commissioners are the one that stay in the background. The ones that aren't out on the forefront trying to make themselves the star, trying to make it evident that they're the ones with the power. Those are always the ones
But you
that
know
are
what?
the most respectable. Look at baseball's commissioner.
That's what I'm about to say. That could go twofold because you can be in the forefront and do the right thing and be in the
Yeah, you
background.
can.
Now,
Oh no, you
like you
definitely
said,
can.
like you look at Rob Manfred. I think that's his name. He's the commissioner of the MLB. Way better than the last guy who was there, whoever that dude was.
Bud Selig.
Yeah, Buck Selig was fucking terrible.
Mister, we're gonna go ahead and condemn steroids when it brought us the highest ratings in the history of baseball.
I mean,
But
you
that's
know
a
what?
different topic for a different day.
Yeah, but
Oh,
know
yeah,
what?
most
I'm gonna
definitely.
be honest. It was terrible. But I would. All he had to do was just admit it. If he just admitted that they had a steroid problem and they were cleaning it up, it'd have been fine. But they waited way too late to start admitting that problem.
Bud Selig waited way too long. Jose Canseco went and jumped the gun, and then they had to go and start releasing information, and all Bud Selig basically did was pass the buck.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
wasn't really Jose Canseco jumping the gun, or Jose Canseco saying, "I'm tired of putting this in the dark. I'm
well,
gonna bring
yeah,
it to
pretty
light."
much. But I mean,
Because,
I think it's a situation where Jose Canseco just figured, if I'm going to get caught, then everybody's going to get
but
caught.
let's be honest. I'm not saying that he was wrong, but
No, he wasn't.
I mean, he wasn't right
He
either.
wasn't. I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, a snitch is a snitch. But at the
Yeah,
end
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
day,
I'm saying he wasn't wrong, but he wasn't right either. You know
no,
what I'm
no,
saying?
no, yeah,
You know,
definitely. But I mean,
and honestly, I'm kind of glad that it came to the forefront because now you look at baseball, and I know all three of us, we don't really follow it, but from us looking at it from a distance, it's it's a much more better sport to watch now. It seems like it's more exciting now, even with all the bullshit home runs not happening like it used to. It just seems like it's a more enjoyable sport to watch. I mean, I'll be honest. I only watched like 2 Braves games since the season started, but I'm just looking at ESPN. I'm looking at Fox Sports, and I'm looking at the reaction of what's going on. You look at that dude Judge, and you look at the other guy who's out here doing his thing. It just seems like it's a better sport right now.
I mean, see, that's the thing, though. It's like I watch a lot of baseball, and baseball is like my third favorite sport. And when I sit and watch, I can't help but notice how far these home runs are going these days. And it makes me think that dudes might not be on steroids, but they're juicing those baseballs to make them go as far as they do. I mean, these baseballs are jumping out of these ballparks, which are already hitter-friendly ballparks. They're trying to make the strike zone smaller, which will create more home runs. I never agreed with the banning steroids to begin with, but I mean, people are never going to agree on that.
No,
I
I
like
So
mean,
cork bat.
oh, go ahead, Pooh.
How about a corked bat? Because I think I remember Sammy Sosa using a corked bat at one point, didn't he?
No, it was somebody else. Yeah,
yeah,
it wasn't
no,
Samuel.
he did too. He did
I
too.
know it was somebody else. I mean, the game, it had its dark moments. I mean, what sport don't have its dark moments? The problem is when you have the people in power trying to play it off like there's nothing to see here.
Right.
That's the part. That's the part I don't like. Like right now, and it's just not me. I just get a sense of it looking at it from a distance. But people in general just look like they're actually interested in watching baseball now, and it's not because of home runs. They genuinely want to watch baseball, and I think that's a good thing. And like I said, we're going to flip it. to the NBA. You look at
Mhm.
Adam Silver. Yeah, he's in the forefront more than David Stern was, but he's doing everything right to make that league much more lucrative than what it is. He understands the players are a brand within themselves, and he's letting them be who they are, and he's trying to give them incentives to stay home where they are so they can make the most money. Not only that,
Well,
he's not tolerating all the outside stuff, i.e. Donald Sterling, and all this other stuff that's going on, and he's actually expanding the league way better than the NFL tried to
so
with NFL Europe.
the one thing I respect about Adam Silver is that he admitted something that David Stern never had the balls to admit. And David Stern is a fraud, by the way. He admitted something that David Stern never had the balls to admit, which is that the NBA is reality TV at its finest. He admitted that during the last NBA Finals, and we can all tell it is reality TV because the way the games are contrived and the way things are conveniently, they turn a blind eye to them on the court. It's clear that it's reality TV. In the end, we will have a winner that is a true winner every year, but at the same time, the way we get to that winner is reality TV.
I couldn't agree with that because
It's very much contrived.
it took me a while to understand that because I feel like for me, I want my sports to be, just straight up one on one, mano a mano, whoever
Mm-hmm.
wins.
Realistic.
But
Yep.
yeah, but at the same time, they're a business, and
Yep.
they tried to figure out how to, let's say, just be right on the cusp, right on the edge of saying this may be rigged, but we're going to pull it back to make it not.
Right.
And,
They've had so many instances where they've tried to cover up these things through the media, through the way they officiate basketball games. You had James Harden basically disappear for a whole game last year. Nobody batted an eye because, of course, nobody wants to believe that a major sport is rigged. But if you're going to convince me that James Harden forgot how to play basketball in a closeout game, I'm going to tell you that you must also believe in Santa Claus.
right.
Because James Harden does not magically forget how to play basketball against a team that they were beating the crap out of on the road. It just doesn't happen. LeBron James does not simply forget how to play basketball in a 7-game series against a team that they clearly should have beaten. And the referees don't conveniently forget how to blow the whistle for one team and swallow the whistle for another team. Those are things that happen intentionally.
Right. I mean, just like when you see, like when you look at a team that should sweep somebody, and all of a sudden they win one game.
Oh, of course. I mean, look at Boston last year. Boston was getting swept out of the water, beat by 30 points per game by Cleveland. And all of a sudden, they go and beat Cleveland at home by 20. Ain't nobody find that kind of strange.
But at the end
Yeah,
of
they
the
don't
day,
take a break for no reason. I mean, fuck that. If I see a team that I know could beating them up, like, say, 3-0, fuck that. Like, I'm keeping my foot on their throats. I'm gonna beat you again.
I mean, it's more than that. Look at the NBA draft lottery. I mean,
that is a totally different discussion.
That was
you get into.
rigged. No.
No, it's not.
I mean,
It's
the
not,
NBA draft
not
lottery has
saying.
been rigged since the beginning of
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm
man.
saying. Not just that particular one last year was rigged. We can go back to at least 15 to 20 years and be like, how
Oh,
the
hell
hell, how the hell that team continuously get at least a top 5 pick? Now I don't care
Right.
I don't care what the odds say. Something ain't right. So, I mean, like that could be, but. The bottom line is we're looking at we basically expanded upon looking at 3 commissioners over 3 of the major sports in the country, and we see where Roger Goodell is just under a lot of scrutiny.
In short, yeah.
He's falling short. He's coming under a lot of scrutiny basically because of his own his own doing, and the fact that they're just making too much money to really care.
Yep.
They could play like they do, but they don't. They're making so much money. It's like, okay, we got to protect this, so we're going to do that. And doing that consists of what's going on in the NFL right now. It's just way too much. I mean, to me, I'm going to continue to watch because I never was big on boycotts because soon as X amount of people start to boycott, you're going to have some dumbass to be like, well, these people are boycotting. And then everybody's going to go on that side of the boycott, and then you're going to have people going back and forth all the while. Nobody's getting nothing done.
It's a bit much.
Yeah,
And
it is.
nobody gets the reason why the boycott's happening after a while. The reason gets lost in the shuffle because so many people are followers that they just choose to follow the movement,
Well,
and it
just look.
becomes watered down.
Just look at the Colin Kaepernick situation as far as that
Exactly.
goes. Look at that. You already talked about this before, Bills. I don't
Hmm.
agree with him protesting the way he did,
Right.
but I understand what he's trying to say. And
Yeah.
but the problem is the fact that he did what he did. What he's trying to say get lost in the shuffle because you got people be like, oh, there's no injustice. He just hate the country. And you got people over
Hmm.
here saying like, look, we got this situation that's happening in our streets every fucking day. We need to
Yep.
do something about it. And they're going back and forth. Meanwhile, the actual message get lost in the shuffle and nobody knows nothing. So,
Absolutely.
so that's why I don't like to tend to stick with boycotts or whatever. But like I said, we could touch that at another time as well.
Hmm.
As far as boycotts, we could jump on this exclusivity situation where
Um,
I've noticed a few people on Twitter was talking about, and they kind of jumped the gun from me because this is something that I was talking about to myself. Yeah, I do talk to myself when I'm at work, and when you drive trucks and you're
Who
on the road
doesn't?
by yourself, you tend to think a lot of
tend to do
stuff.
these things.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, who doesn't? I mean, like, talking to yourself means that you're a genius.
well, you
Shit,
talk to yourself.
Certainly.
Yeah,
think
yeah. I'm
better
about to say
when you
certainly
talk to
because
yourself.
we know you talk to yourself, and you're kind of questionable. Fool, so,
Fuck you, fuck you, nigga.
no, I'm just messing with you, man. Nah, you all right, man. I'm just messing with you, man. But no, but seriously, whoever say they don't do it, they're lying. But like I
Right.
said, like I drive, miles and miles a day, and these type of topics that we're coming up with, they usually pop in my mind while I'm just driving and just thinking about stuff.
Yep.
And this exclusivity situation on my old channel, the virtual footballer channel, I made a video at the end of that channel's life. I wish I would have kept it archived because I could have reposted. It was about the NFL license always being exclusive, and basically what I was saying is no matter who makes the NFL game, even if EA loses the license, the NFL is just going to jump to another company and just let them be exclusive. And I got pretty good feedback off that video, but I think a lot of people have forgotten about it because you see what's going on with Madden 18, and which we're going to talk about Madden 18 a little later because I got a few questions about it. But this exclusivity license, the thing with Madden 18 and the patches that is needed and the quality of the game, which personally I don't necessarily have an issue with the game. I like the game. I play it to
Same.
this, and I still play it. But I understand people gripes, and I understand why people can get some jet lag behind Madden. Madden has been the only NFL, well, yeah, it's been the only licensed football game for what is going on 13, 14 years now
At
since
least, yeah.
2004, 2005. Yeah, so it's been 12 years now, honestly. In people are getting jet lag from it. And I get it. Even if the game is really good, you would like to see somebody else do something. And I get because you're tired of just seeing EA Sports, NFL. I get it, but if that's the case, you think you're going to actually get competition, I think that if EA loses the license, it could be very well maybe another company, Ubisoft or Rockstar. Rockstar 2K is all the same. Konami, because they still make a sports title. It's just going to jump to another company be exclusive. So,
Mhm.
is it something that we really want, or is it just blowing in the wind when we're just talking about we want two games? Bills, I'm gonna let you go first with that one.
I think that people definitely want competition. The issue is that at the end of the day, if we get competition, how are people going to react if one game is still inferior? If we don't have a situation where both games are really good games, do people still want competition? And what do they want competition for? Do they want it so they can actually get two games, or do they want it so that both games can be pushed and they can ultimately choose one? I question certain people's motives when they ask for competition. If you because when I see MLB the show, I don't see anybody bitching about competition. It goes a lot.
Man,
It
I
goes
don't.
a
I
lot.
don't.
It
Hold on.
goes a
Hold on.
lot
Hold on.
with the
I don't care.
quality of the game.
I
To
don't
me,
care. I don't care what nobody say. They could talk shit about MLB 2K all they want.
hmm
I need that pitching mechanic back in some type of game.
I agree.
That pitching mechanic for MLB 2K is the best pitching mechanic ever created. MLB The Show needs to at least put that in their game. Outside of that, I don't care if they have competition because the game
Yeah,
is just that good. But I'm gonna
yeah.
let you
I
go back to what
mean,
you're saying.
yeah, because I mean that's what I've noticed is that when a game is really good and they're putting out quality products every year, there's no outcry for competition. That's why I think that this community is full of a bunch of fraudulent claims for competition. If the game was where it was supposed to be, they wouldn't be complaining about competition. They wouldn't. These outcries from competition are coming from the years where Madden was really just not a good game. And those cries for competition died down for sports games that have really good games. If 2K was the only title, you think people would be bitching and saying we want live back? Come on.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. You got people doing that now.
Right.
Some people don't even care if live exists. Honestly,
Exactly. You
Yeah.
ask them, oh, well, did you play the live demo? No. So how you going to say it sucks? I watched it. Okay. Well,
Bullshit.
clearly you're a fanboy. Because
I mean,
because you're just waiting for 2K to come out, and when somebody tells you, "What about this other game that's an alternative?" You rather sit and bitch about 2K than play the alternative. You don't want competition. You want placebo competition. You want a remnant of competition. You want a game that you can go to when 2K is fucking up, but then as soon as 2K gets their shit together, you'll go right back to saying, "Oh, well, who cares if live is out or not?"
I
That's not
mean,
wanting competition.
but see, my thing is not. I think people want competition in a football game. I'm not gonna say that they don't, but my problem is why bark up a tree that don't exist? I don't think that you will ever get to NFL games again. I just don't see it. You look at the landscape of the NFL. Everything that they have out there that they deal with other companies with is exclusive. You look at the credit cards.
Hmm.
Visa is the exclusive credit card for the NBA. I mean NBA of the NFL. You look at Bud Light. Bud Light is the official beer of the NFL. You look at
Hmm.
Nike. Nike is the official jerseys
Well,
for the
yeah.
NFL. What else they have? Buick.
Xbox.
I think is I'm gonna get to that. Buick. I think Buick is the official car of the NFL or something like that. Like because you see a lot of Buick enclaves or something. It got to be Buick or Mercedes. It could be Buick, but I'm pretty sure it's Buick. I might need to look that up. But like I said, Xbox One is the official console of the NFL. It's just why would video games be the exception to everything else that the NFL does? Pooh, I want to know what you think about that.
Honestly, for me, at this point, I just don't understand why is it people is constantly going on with this. I mean, like, yeah, we get that, Madden's getting stale over time, but it's like, yo, you see all this going on with the NFL. What make you think they're going to change it? If it's going to make them money at the end of the day, that's their mindset. That'll be my mindset, too. I mean, like, why would I change this when I know that I'm going to get money from these companies at the end of the day?
I mean,
Why?
at the end of the day, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, and I understand that. But people need to stay consistent, bro. That's all I'm saying. If you play Madden and you're frustrated with Madden and you want competition, but you play MLB The Show and you don't ask for competition, you're a hypocrite.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, at this point, you might as well just, like, if you don't like Madden, then I'm just going to point it like this. If you don't like Madden, then just play the previous game. In this case, y'all going to keep on playing 2K. 'Cause, I mean, like, I understand that everybody heard that before,
Okay,
but
I'm looking at something on the internet right now. I don't know about the actual dealer, like the actual car, but I know like let's say for the NFL teams, like the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have sponsorship deals with GMC. Oh, I mean Chevrolet. GMC is with the Broncos and the Carolina Panthers, and I'm pretty sure like with the Atlanta Falcons, they probably have the Mercedes, and the Saints probably have Mercedes because their stadium is called the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But so I don't know if there's actual car that's actually the NFL. I'm pretty sure it is, and I think it's Buick. I could be wrong. If anybody knows, let me know. But like you said, like you were saying, like you guys are pretty much saying that people should get off of it. I understand people trying to fight for it, but I mean, let's be honest. I
No, I
mean,
wouldn't
You're
say people
talking
should
to
get
a
off.
brick wall, basically.
I wouldn't say people should get off of it. I'm on the complete opposite side of it. But at the same time, I think people should stay consistent. That's all I ask for is consistency.
Don't get me wrong. I would definitely love to have another Madden game, but it's like, yo, at this point, y'all motherfuckers just talking to a brick wall. I mean, you're trying to talk to a damn company that's, doing what they think is the best way that they're gonna make money, and they're not gonna change it. They're not gonna change it and risk that just to lose it.
I mean, ask how many people that want competition. Ask how many of them have access football.
I mean, you
Good
also got to think
question.
about. I mean, you got to also think about it. Look at
But then y'all turn around and say that access football is ass when like
How many
they
people bought
even
that?
Dollar Tree, they sit up there and they tell you that the game's basically a work in progress. We try to get better each and every year.
I mean,
How
you
about
How
also,
True
many
Hell?
people? How
you
many
also
people
got to.
bought that CFL game?
I
Well,
don't see anybody talking about that now.
Of
but
course not.
you
Are
also
they?
got to think about. Look at another line of exclusivity. The NFL Sunday Ticket. Who has exclusive rights to that? Direct TV.
I believe
DirecTV.
that's DirecTV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. And look at this. I'm looking at this right now. May 3rd, 2017. Verizon is paying the NFL $21 million for exclusive streaming rights.
Thank you.
That's another thing.
I
Like
got
I said,
files. Let's go.
that was it. That's what I'm saying. They don't do business with extra people. It's like, look, it's one and done. If we want you to stream our shit, we're not going nowhere else. If we want our stuff on our game, we're not going nowhere else. I think there's like some gray area to say that you can put the games on mobile or whatever. And some people are saying that there's some loophole to get an NFL game on consoles. Trust me, until somebody show me that in black and white, I don't believe it. Because my thing is just that's just how the NFL rolls, and it's not just saying there's a knock on people who wants it. It's just that's just how the NFL roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What am I supposed to? I mean, you got with all these other entities we just talked about: credit cards, beer, cars, clothes, streaming rights, TV rights. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if the NFL had their way, they probably would make you watch all their stuff on the NFL Network. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean that's just I don't know. Anything else I want to add on to that? Because I don't have anything else to say to it.
There's not much else
Nah,
because
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
for me personally, I feel like, this has been outplayed long enough. I mean, like, it's like what Bill said. I understand y'all. I understand that you guys supposed to have a voice, but it's like, y'all been asking for this for God knows how long, and it's like apparently y'all don't seem to get the picture already. They're not going to change their ways.
So I'm going to ask another question. Do you think people just want to have another game, or they want to have more than one game?
No,
I think
because
I
if they
think that they
want
just
to
want
have
another
another
game.
game, if they want to have another game, they would be playing access football. Like I said, these people aren't really about competition. Point blank. Period. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all there is to it. Like that's all there is to it. They just talk just to talk. They're disgruntled customers who are bitching about a product that they don't have to play, and they complain and ask for competition. And if we ever do get competition, they'll bitch and complain about that game. If that game ever gets exclusivity, it'll continue to go around in this vicious circle. That's it.
Hopefully
Yeah.
one day they'll learn. Hopefully.
Me personally, I just think that if people want another football game, it's cool. But the thing is, that's what you're going to get, another football game. I don't think that you will have more than one NFL game. I just don't see it.
The closest that we was gonna get to that was Joe Montana. Oh, damn. Yeah. That kind of sucked now, didn't it?
Well, let's go to another topic. Oh God, Joe Montana, where's Damon Grohl?
Where's he at? He's at his local. Never mind. Let me shut up.
Drinking
No,
some
like, seriously.
weird beer.
His local his local beer shop.
No, I'm about to
Yep.
look him up. I'm about to look him up on Twitter and see is he still alive.
Oh Christ!
Probably drinking himself into obscurity, even
A
further into obscurity.
drunken stupor.
He still follows me on Twitter.
I already told you. I
What?
already told you one thing. One day he was like, "DB wide receiver interactions or the Henny." I'm gonna
Okay,
take the Henny.
he said his last tweet was, "Friends, I have a major announcement." This was a damn near a year ago.
Damn.
Friends, I have a major announcement. I have D Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald on my fantasy team. That is all.
So I
That's
mean,
his
Mm-hmm.
like
last. That's
David
his
Johnson, I'll
last
give you
tweet.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
David Johnson, I'll give you that. But you know,
What a joke.
Hey, Gedden, how'd that work out?
What a joke.
still around.
Yo, hey, if anybody watching this, if anybody that watches this podcast, if you ask Gedden about Madden, about Montana 16, he'll probably block you.
Most likely.
Then again, if you say anything complimentary about EA, he'll probably just block you too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you
So,
fucked either way.
yeah.
It's
Anyway.
best if you block him before he blocks you.
Oh my God. Anyway, you lucky you my co-host. I don't need those problems. Speaking of that,
I have no filter, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't need those problems.
Same.
Speaking of that, we're going to jump back and we're going to talk about Twitter. I took a step back from Twitter. I haven't been tweeting much for the past week or so. I tried to take the same approach I did with Facebook, which literally I don't go on Facebook at all. But I do try to keep my ear to what's going on. So I will probably do 1 or 2 tweets a day and don't look at my mentions. So my issue with Twitter is, and it's just not a knock on anybody, it's just I think us at first are frame rates. Like we said before, we just want a game. We want to have fun. We want to enjoy ourselves. And I know there's some sentiment out there for people saying that putting a bad connotation on the word having fun. That doesn't mean we just accept bullshit and just play the game. Because when bullshit happens, we do speak on it. But for us, we don't encounter as much bullshit as most people do. And quite honestly, as far as Madden 18 goes, it's not as rampant as people make it out to be.
No,
That's just my opinion. Even with the fucked up zones, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's bad because of the state the game's in, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. But like I said, we want to have fun and we want to enjoy ourselves, and we're not here just to just rant and all the time. We do have our opinions and we want to talk about that. But when I look at Twitter, I want to have people who can come around and honestly just talk about games and actually give thoughtful opinions about games. Also give good feedback to help each other enjoy games. I don't want it to be a bitch fest about games being wrong all the time. Because after a while, that gets old. And it just seems like on Twitter, you have a lot of that. You have a lot of people arguing with each other, and you have a lot of people attacking each other. I don't know how you guys feel about that, or how you partake into that. I do want your thoughts with that. I want to give Pooh a chance to talk about that first.
Personally, I just think it's simply pathetic. I mean, like, really, I see it as this. Alright, you posting a flaw in the game. I mean, you're going to bitch about it. What does that do for the developers at the end of the day? I mean, at the end of the day, I see it as this. They're only human. I mean, yes, they're going to try their hardest to make sure that they're going to eliminate the issue, but it's like, yo, are you in their position right now? I mean, that's how I see it, really. I mean, like, us bitching about it every day, it's not helping.
That's what I'm saying. I get it, talking about it and actually addressing it. But I just don't get on. I mean, I used to do it all the time, but I just can't get on the bandwagon of doing it all the time, every day, all day. I mean, you just have some people who do that, and to me, it's counterproductive to yourself. Not, I mean, the game, whether it be Madden 2K Live or whatever, I just don't see how it's productive to do it all the time. Even, that's just me. And me, I work all the time. When I get home, I just want to play games and chill. If I see something wrong with the game and it happens too often, I just put the game down and keep it moving.
Exactly.
I just can't do it no more. So, but when I look on Twitter and I see, some people, and it's just like, man, you know, let's talk about things that, I can't control what people tweet. But if it's a gaming community, I'm like, let's post stuff about things you like. Post
Yeah,
about the
it's
games you play. Just at least have a mix of both. But it's just, I don't know. Bills, what you think, man?
I mean, I had to tell Suave this the other day. I told him straight up, like, there's a fine line between bitching and criticizing a game for what it is. And the difference between the two is the length of time that you choose to go about it. So if you criticize a game and you say, look, the zones are horrible, okay, and then you come back a couple days later and you say, I play the game again and the zones are still horrible. That's one thing. If you bitch about the zones every hour on the hour, you don't even know how the zones would operate better if they were fixed. You just bitch because you know that something's wrong based on other things you've seen online. That's what I call bitching. You are complaining about something that you have no solution for, and you do it on the hour every hour instead of just choosing to play another game. And that, I mean, when you, like I said, people can do whatever the hell they want on their Twitter. Just don't expect anybody to take you seriously if you, as a grown man, sit there and bitch about a product, the same product, in the same way, in the same fashion, in the same tone, all day. My attention span ain't good enough for that shit. I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
not.
for me, it used to be because I used to do those videos.
Yeah, like
And
I'm
for
like.
me, I thought it was productive. But to me, it's like, look, you got. I mean, listen. Listen. You got two companies that we pretty much primarily talk about: Madden and 2K. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about NBA 2K problems. We talk about Madden problems.
Yep.
Madden is the only company making the game. And like we said, the license will always be exclusive. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to say they don't care, but it's not on their radar. What's on their radar is what them tournaments are going to be like and what that month's going to be like. That's just be honest. I mean, even I like the fact that they put sim, mode in the game, and sim mode works for all intents and purposes. It works pretty well, but for the fact that that's not the focus, they're gonna just patch certain bugs that are really glaring. If something that irks your nerves to the point that you may feel is real glaring, to the masses it may not feel that it's glaring, it's just not gonna get attention. And with 2K, they got competition, but right now they don't even look at live as competition. It sucks, but they
I have
just
a
don't.
question.
Can
Would
I
you
piggyback
guys?
off of what Bill said for a minute when it
Oh
goes
yeah, go ahead.
goes that person bitching? Let me just point out from my personal view and personal point of view. I spent $80 on Madden. So what am I mainly doing? I'm playing the play now. I'm playing the mud. I'm playing everything that they could possibly have there. Do I know the zones is ass and everything? Yes, I do. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to do what I can to make the defense better by not playing zone. If anything, adapt to that until they patch the issue.
Well, here,
Play man.
well, see, you know what though? This brings me to my next question, which is, I believe, I believe if you are an offline gamer, you don't participate in online gaming. If you are an offline gamer and you sit and bitch about the zones and don't download somebody's roster and sliders and refuse to, then you don't have a right to bitch. Because you are not trying to proactively make the experience better. You would rather sit and cry over spilled milk. I
I,
don't think you have a right to complain about anything if you are willing to sit there and say, hey, fix this. Hey, I don't want. Well. Why don't you download these slides? I shouldn't have to. It's not about what
Bullshit.
you should have to. It's not about
I,
what you should have to do.
I put it like
Download the
this.
fucking sliders, try them out. If they don't work, then you can bitch. But don't sit there and people are trying to give you a solution and you just want to sit there and act like a petulant baby and say, no, they need to patch it. No, I don't want to download a roster. Well, then sit there and fucking be unhappy then.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
mean,
I
I'm
think
getting my $80 worth. Fuck that.
I think that's what it boils down to. Because I mean, for me, it's like, I mean, we talked about this before. I mean, you have people that are willing to download rosters, or they're willing to mod a game, do all this stuff
Yeah,
to a game, but they don't want to just tinker with sliders. It is like, some people have high standards. I get it. Some people, like, they feel like they shouldn't have to do it, but the tools are there. Why not try it?
that's what I'm saying. It's like what do you have to lose by trying to slider set? What do you have to lose? I mean, I sat there and made a very in-depth slider set for 2K last year and did a whole roster. I just sit and bitch on Twitter all day and have a fucking pep rally, a bitching pep rally. Hey guys, why don't you come over here and bitch with me? Just adding people on. Hey, don't you hate the game too? Yeah. It's just like, really?
Y'all really got time for that?
That's what I'm
I
saying,
mean,
bro.
to
I'm
me,
busy.
I feel that.
I'm busy trying to play these games, and they're busy trying to bring people together and bitch.
I mean, I think that was it. To me, it just passed me by. I just can't do it no more. And like I said
Yeah.
before, if the game is that bad, and I know I haven't been doing it, I haven't been putting stuff on my channel. I mean, basically, it's just been the first and Framerates podcast. But if I don't want to, if I don't post it on my channel, or if you don't see me post it on Twitter, like last night I posted a Madden 18 clip on Twitter. If you don't see me post any of those two, that just tells you that I don't like the game. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I'm not going to be playing it.
Exactly.
You know, it's just, I mean, that's just me. It's just, I don't, it, and I don't want it to be a bitch fest for us bitching on other people, because
Right.
I mean, but it just comes, like I said, when we talk about Twitter, it's like, I'm just getting to the point that that is what it is. And not only that,
I mean,
you talk about other things like people are fanboying and white knighting for companies. I mean, that's just a totally different issue that we can get into on another day, because that gets highly annoying after a while.
but I
Oh,
mean,
God.
virtual. Let's be honest though. Is there any other walk in life other than gaming that dudes choose to talk about shit that they don't like? Like people don't. If people don't watch soccer, they don't sit and talk about soccer. They don't like scary movies. They don't sit and talk about scary movies.
My thing
But if
is,
they don't like a game, they'll sit there all day and talk about it.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Is just something really odd about that, because I mean, I guess people feel like because it's the exclusive license and they can lean on that. I get it, but if I don't like a certain restaurant, I'm not going to talk about it all day. If I don't like a certain, movie, I'm not going to talk about it. If I don't like a certain genre of video game, I'm not going to talk about it all day. And like I said, I get it. If people want to say, "Oh, Madden's exclusive, so we're going to do," that's fine. But at some point, to me, at some point, I'm going to get my football fix come hell or high water.
Pretty much.
That's why Jesus, I got so many football games, basketball games, but I got so many of them, I can't even count. I mean, I literally got every Madden on from the PS2 era, Xbox era, from the first one that came out in Madden 2001 all the way up to Madden 11 on PS2, and I got all the ones from the PS3 era, original Xbox. I'm not just about to sit here and just talk about a game I don't like. I'll just pick one of these games. And if you can't find a game, these sports titles are dirt cheap. You can go find these shits for like $2 at some store. And if you like the old game that much, which for some reason, that's another topic. I'll get into that another time. But for a couple bucks, you can get your football fix. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. Um, Anything else y'all want to jump onto that before we go to the next topic?
No, that's it.
Only thing I pretty much have to say is this: is just play the game to get your money's worth. I mean, you spent this amount of much money on it. Don't just get on Twitter and bitch about it. Try to have fun with the game. Try to make it the best. The best game you spent your $60 on. That's all I'm basically saying. I mean, I haven't gotten on Twitter either to really talk, obviously to talk negative or to even talk positive about the game, because that just show you I'm into it.
And I'm be honest with you, that is actually kind of, that's interesting to me because of the fact that you actually are playing it. Because I remember on the old show that I had, you did not like EA Madden at all at one point.
Yeah.
So we can jump onto that. Like, how do you? How are you perceiving Madden 18 right now? What do you think about it?
Honestly, I think it's a good game. I mean, like, hard to believe, right? You didn't think that would come out of me after, a few years ago. But it's like this, at the end of the day, it's like what you said. I just want to play a good football game at the end of the day. I mean, if I don't like Madden 18, I'm going to go back to the previous Madden. If not, I'm going to go play All Pro Football 2K or NFL 2K5 and have fun with that at the end of the day. Or I could just watch the actual football game. So that's how I see it now. I mean, like, this whole bitching thing, it's over and done with. I mean, I have so many fucking games now to play. It's not even just football. I just want to play the game, get my money's worth, have fun with it. If I don't feel like it's not worth my money, I'm gonna just move on.
Yo, VF, I can't help but remember when you posted that dude talked about trading in Madden 18 and going playing All Pro 2K, and I'm like, so you trade in a game with bad zones to go play a game with bad zones?
I
Both
found,
games got bad
no,
zones. That's
me
real.
personally, I found that interesting because I went to a local game store here. It's not GameStop. It was just a game store here in South Carolina, and it was a handful of guys in there, and they were just talking, and I just started asking questions like in lieu of conversation, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And some people were really giving me some honest answers. And if you haven't seen it, you can go down to my Twitter timeline. You can see it. And like one guy was like, he played Madden 18 and he just didn't like it, and he decided to take that game, and he took a few more games that he had, and he went on to GameStop, traded it in. He said the 360 was pretty cheap. He got that, and he went back to play APF. And I was like, wow. I mean, I like APF, but I don't think that APF is to. I don't think Madden 18 is that bad. But I mean, that's just me. I just thought it
Personal
was.
opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Some people, actually had their issues with it. But like I said,
I don't think it's possible for me to go back and play APF after playing Madden 18.
The only reason why I go back to APF right now is just to watch the computer play, because I think that's the best computer versus computer action I've seen in quite some time.
Yo, it's funny because
no, no, that is true.
watching
That
a
is true.
computer play gets you geared up to play, and then you play, and it's like, oh, this shit again.
No, to me, I mean, I'm wired differently. I can go back and play anything and enjoy myself. So it's not like just because I played Madden 18, I'm not going to go back and play that game or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
to
not like
me,
that either.
yeah, to
It
me,
just, I mean, it's just one of them things where once a game tops the games of the past, and they kind of make those games feel antiquated to me when I go back and play them, I can't play them anymore. It's just like
Yeah,
I can't go
no,
back and play NBA Live 04 anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I get that. I get that.
That's
I mean,
just me.
and I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the sentiments of a lot of people. I mean, that's why a lot of people go and buy these yearly titles all the time, and they'll literally go back and say I can't. They'll go and say I can't go back and play Madden 17, or I can't go back and play Madden 16. And
Hmm.
here I am. Hell, I still have fun playing Madden 25.
Yeah, but
I mean, I know I'm weird. I know I'm wired
I mean, but
differently.
that's the thing. It's like there are games that stick out in the past, like Madden 04. I can go back and play Madden 04 to this day, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like 2K5, just how antiquated the movements were, and 2K8, just how shitty the zones were.
that's what I'm saying. Like, at this
I
point, you gotta be in a
just,
mood to play it.
yeah, like I mean,
I can
I don't
still
know.
go. I can still go back and play 2K5. It's just
I,
something.
uh,
It's just something about 2K8 is just. It's a good game, but it just feels weird to me when I'm playing 2K5. I mean, I can't tell you how much hours I put in 2K5.
I think it's just a movement.
Yeah,
Personally, I think it's just the movement,
I don't
because
know
the
what
movement
it.
2K5 felt more like, it felt like, yo, you could do anything, like, with any player. More specifically, like I said earlier when we talked about this, it was about the quarterback, where you can't run with the quarterback like you used to in 2K8. 2K8, you really have to stand in your
Yeah,
pocket.
it's just something about that game. I mean, it plays okay to me, but it's just I just look at that game and be like, I'll play one game a month, or I'll play it at all. But 2K5, I mean, to me, I think that era in general. But me, I'm a big original Xbox fan. So
Mm-hmm.
that era in general, I can go back and play pretty much any game off the original Xbox, whether it be 2K5. I go play Madden '07, Madden '08. I can play NBA Live '06, which that game ran at 720p on the
It did.
Xbox, legit 720p, no joke. Um,
Damn.
and for 2004. I mean, 2004, 2005, that's way ahead of its time. I can still go back and play MVP baseball
Oh, that
on
was
the original.
fun.
I can still play those games, but see, me, I'm an old head, so I can go back and do it. I know I'm weird. I mean, I don't have 16 consoles in this room for nothing, So I get it, but it's just some people are just not wired like that. Nah, and it's cool, but for the
Grandpa
st-
Virtual.
but
It
the but the state of Madden 18, I like the game. I still play it. I turned up the slider for the zone coverage is up. The gameplay's fine to me. Yes, you do have some physics issues and some weird things may happen, some certain glitches that are happening in the game. I get it, but when you're playing a game of football, that stuff may happen maybe twice, maybe three times a game. And I can live with that because if you go back and look at these other games that came out, you had about that same type of ratio.
This is the only thing I'll say about Madden 18. As good as Madden 18 is, NBA 2K is going to occupy all my time.
Man, I feel so bad for Live, man.
I feel bad for Live
That
on.
is a good game,
I
man, and
mean,
they're about to.
Live 18, that demo, yeah, it was actually pretty
Yeah, I
damn
mean
good.
they're going to get stomped, and with them it's like they're trying their best to give you a simulation experience, and I get it. I'm all for that. That's me. That's where I come in at. But when you look at the competition, they're like, look, we did this sim thing. We got it down to where we like it. We're about to give you motherfuckers a bunch of arcade shit. Go on the park, go in the neighborhood, buy shit out of Foot Locker, go have you some lunch, go work out, and have at it. And it's like, man, Live can't compete with that. And it sucks because you want to have a game that gets some gain some ground in the game. But half of these people that are going to be buying NBA 2K probably can give a rat's ass about basketball. They just want to do that dumb shit in the neighborhood.
I
And
Yeah.
wish.
and when I saw the trailer, I was like, yo, these dudes about to unload on Live as far as sales, and it's not even funny.
I
And me,
wish. I really wish Live took the time to put some freelance sets in the game, bro.
but see, that's once
Gonna make
again,
it
I get,
unplayable for me.
once again, I get it, but then again, you're talking about something that's simulation. We're in the minority when it comes to simulation. A lot of people aren't going to be like,
Yeah,
yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people aren't going to be into that type of shit. They're going to be into let me go buy this jersey out of Foot Locker. Let me go pump some iron and lift some weights and let me go run and dunk with a leopard suit on the
In a
park.
virtual video game.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what people go. And like I said, it sucks. I mean, if a lot of people don't realize this, this is th- these two games coming out is a direct indictment on the sim community because you got one game that is focusing on sim with NBA Live, and I'm not saying 2K's not because 2K, you've seen the gameplay blog, it's phenomenal. But you can see Live is just trying to give you some simulation aspect, and it's bare bones. I ain't gonna say it's bare bones. It's just direct. This is what they're giving you, and the casuals about to come to town with 2K, and they're about to rough shot on everybody who's looking at sim, and they'll be like, "Why are you not giving this game a chance?" Fuck that. I'm about to go buy Kobe Bryant's jersey out of Foot Locker. Fuck what you talking about.
see the one bit
But
of
I'm being honest.
substance.
Am I lying? Am I lying? That's just how people think. Am I
Nah,
lying?
you're definitely
No, you're
not.
not
I
lying.
mean,
That's what
because
makes it so funny.
the one bit of substance I got out of that whole, my player, my career type presentation was the fact that now they allow for dual archetypes, which they should have had years ago. That I think is nice. You should have been able to create somebody who's a lockdown defender and a sharpshooter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is possible to be two things. You can't just be offense and just be defense all the time. So that is one thing that I like about my career that they added. It adds some substance to the mode. They
Right.
haven't really gone into what the mode is going to be like so much. Playground is playgrounds, but they haven't really gone into like improvements to the mode itself. So that's going to be interesting. I wish they would bring Summer League back. Hopefully it is back. They haven't really
I
revealed.
doubt it. I doubt it.
I mean, it'd
You
be
also wish they'll
nice.
bring back the D League too.
No, if Summer League's not there, the D League's not there.
I mean, I'll settle.
No,
I'll
I'm
settle.
saying I'm saying, do you wish for them to bring back the D League?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll
I'm
take.
not too
I'm gonna
high
be, I'm
on
gonna be
it,
honest
but
with
I
you.
mean,
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather take the D League before I take the Summer League, because if I'm running the franchise and I need to send some jackass down to the D League, that's where he's going. I'd
yeah,
rather do that than for him to just take space on my damn. And you know what? They can do it. They did it with 2K11, and if you look at MLB The Show, they got not only the AA, they got the AAA, and don't they got something else too? They got like 4 different leagues in MLB The Show
nah,
17,
yeah, they do.
which reminds me, I need to buy that game, but I bought some other games today, but that's just another story. We're not going
Yeah, you know what would be the nail in the coffin for live if 2K had Hoodie Mellow when you play Blacktop. That's
I'm
when
a,
you
I'm
know.
a,
That's
I'm a,
when you know.
I'm gonna be honest. What really is going to be the nail in the coffin for live, and I don't think people really think about this as much, but 2 things. If they get the WNBA, that's one. If they decide if they can get the WNBA along with their game, because I know
I feel
Live
like
got it.
that's an exclusive license.
I think it is
I
too.
think they do. They need it though.
I think there is too, and it's a nice exclusive license because it's something that 2K don't have. But
Mhm.
as long as they have that, they're gonna still hang around a little bit.
Man, if
But
2K, yeah, I think I brought
and
that up
not
in
only
one
that,
of our former broadcast, in
if
one of
they
our
get
former podcasts.
if they get that, and another thing, if NBA 2K can somehow make at least 20 colleges in game to play with, not players, just the teams.
It's a
It,
wrap.
and to be honest with you, if they get one or the two or both, Live is not going to be able to compete with that. If 2K get like at least, I'll say 10. No, no, not 10. I'll say 20. At least 20, maybe 15. If they get,
Why
if
don't
they,
they just go and slap that piece of shit long shot in the face and let you play a whole season of college of my player?
That can work.
that's what I'm saying.
That can
If
work.
they, not even that, let's just say, for instance, they give you 16 teams, or if they
Mhm.
give you 20 teams, and you could play a semi regular season with those 20 teams, and the top and 4 of them get knocked out, and then you just have a Sweet 16 to the NCAA title in NBA 2K. Use those players, and you could draft class them onto the NBA 2K your franchise mode. If you get that in that game, Live does not stand a chance no matter what they do at that point. That's my opinion.
I can agree with that.
It's a
Nothing they
wrap.
can do. And
And
the WNBA is fine, but people want that college feeling again. And we all know that they're not making a game. And if the game did come out, um, I don't know. I probably would want EA to do it, honestly, because EA has done a great job with college games in general. But if 2K was to ever like implement that like they did with the My Player when you get to choose your college, if they put that as just a team that you could play with and you don't have the players, you just have the teams.
I mean, you know 2K would go all the way with that because as soon as they get like the coaches, it's a wrap. Don't let them get like Coach K and Tom Izzo.
That's
oh
what I'm
god,
saying. You know
Christ.
what I'm saying? That I think that will be the nail in the coffin for
And they
live.
actually have their tendencies as a coach too. That's some,
Yeah, because since you can't have the players, just have the tendencies as a coach. Man, it's a wrap, yo.
it's a wrap.
With 2K's gameplay and their freelance sets, and then you add all the full court, presses and all the stuff that college basketball brings with it, it wouldn't even be close, man. Live could pack it up, dude.
Yeah, so
Go right back to
I
the time.
I can agree. I hope live does well, but I mean, once I saw what 2K is doing with their game this year, that right there alone. I mean, I'm sorry that I don't see live standing a chance, and it sucks because
Yeah, I've been watching these
I'm pretty sure
gameplay videos.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Live's gonna be a damn good game, but they added stuff we talked about in the last podcast, the stuff they added, and then you see this park thing happening with you can pretty much run the damn neighborhood. I mean,
I mean that, but that's the thing. It's like they also just can't keep up with 2K as far as gameplay is concerned.
they're too far
As far as
behind.
adding substance to your game and depth, as far as the AI is concerned, they just can't keep up,
They're
bro.
they're too far behind, man. They just
Yeah.
can't. They just can't. And I don't know I don't know that well of the developers over there live. They may be talented, but I mean, the guys at 2K, they're just way more
Bottle
advanced as
G
far
and
as
Czar have basketball minds that
Mike Wang.
Mike Wang, it's like an all-star team over there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Mike Wang. Mike Wang arguably made the best live in the series.
Hmm.
Up until we're going to see what 18 does, which I'm pretty sure to pass 10. But as of right
And
now,
they
it's
still
like,
had that other dude. Dude that wears the glasses. Black dude that wears the glasses. I think his last name is Jones, maybe. He used to be one of the lead gameplay designers too, and
yeah,
he
man,
might still be there. It's just in
yeah,
the backgrounds.
it's crazy. It's like it sucks because I think these guys are really going to up and up. But like I said, I saw that neighborhood thing and I was like, bruh, I don't know what to tell live. Like everybody who thought live was cool, they may look at it, give it a chance, but people gonna want to go. And like I said, most of the people who are playing, they can give a rat. People getting 2K, they give a rat's ass about basketball. They just want to do that shit in the neighborhood.
Unless
And
if
that.
2K's gameplay sucks this year, that would be the only possible chance that Live has to even get people to come on
But
board.
then again, if that's the
Rob
case,
Jones, that's who it was. Rob
there you
Jones.
go. Right there you go. There you go.
It's another great basketball mind.
But think about it. Even if they're fed up with 2K, it's like, you think people are really going to shell out money to turn back around and buy Live?
No.
No, that's
Only,
sad.
only, only basketball heads will. But we're talking about the Joe Blow that just want to buy shit out of Foot Locker and dunk on people. Matter of fact, the gameplay might be messed up. That might cater to the people who want to do that type of shit. Oh, the gameplay's jacked up. I could play like NBA Jam. Man, this is fun.
Oh my god.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, does it really matter? So I mean, we're a little bit over the hour mark. I don't have anything else I want to address. I mean, I think we covered everything.
Not yet.
Oh no,
Well,
no, we didn't. And you know what? I think we should. I don't think we should get into all depth with that, but I do want our opinions. NFL season just started. The college football season started. It just felt like it was real premature. I didn't get any excitement out of it. I did think there was a few good games out there.
I'm
Michigan.
pissed I missed the end of that fucking UCLA game. I had to go to sleep because I had work this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my
That was
God,
exciting.
man.
I missed all of that because I had to go to bed. But
I missed it too.
I should have
overall,
recorded it. Someone told me to record it, dude.
yeah, exactly. But overall, I'm like, college football is here is great, but I'm like, okay. It's like it's nothing that really stick out at me. But the NFL season is about to start, and we all have separate teams that we do like. Pooh, I want you to go first. What are your expectations about your team and your division?
Honestly, I expect 3 teams to be competitive in the NFC East.
Well, you might
That
well
would be
just
the
say
Giants?
you might well just say the
Yep.
whole. You might well say the whole division is competitive. It's only got 4 teams.
Not quite, because the Redskins they're really really fucked up right now. I mean, it's not even just from the front office
Good
point of
thing
view, and that
DJ's
was
out
already
there.
fucked up enough. But you got this whole thing going on with Sua Cravens talking about retirement and shit like that. You can't tell me that they're like mentally like ready for this kind of shit right now. Like, yo, you really gotta have a good mindset for this, and having all this background distractions going on in that locker room, going on in that front office, that's not helping the Redskins. So really, at this point, there's only 3 teams that can really win the NFC East right now, have a better chance of winning the NFC East right now over them. That's obviously the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. That's it. Now, my expectations for the Eagles is I don't expect them to win the NFC East, but I expect them to do better than how they did last season. Because last season they went 7-9. They only lost by like 6 points, a few points here and there. That was just with a shitty team. So now at the very least, I'm expecting them to go either 9-7 or 10-6. They have to do that if you're gonna bring in all those players for 1-year deals. You bring in Alshon Jeffrey here. He's committed to make Carson Wentz a better player. You bring in Timmy Jernigan in by trade. You bringing in the Garrett Blunt for 300 carries looking ass. I'm like, they better use him right. The last thing I want is this to be a DeMarco Murray situation all over again.
Well, that's not going to be the case. He's running a different offense, so I'm not worried about that. But
True, but at the same time, you don't bring in no 300-yard, you don't bring in no 300 carries a game guy, and then you expect him to be the same.
hold on, wait a minute.
You
Who's
can't.
300?
I mean,
Hold on,
like
who carried the ball 300 times?
LeGarrette Blount
When did he carry the
carried
ball
300 times last season.
Hold on, he played for the Patriots, right?
Yes.
All right, Bills, did he carry the ball 300 times to the Patriots?
I gotta look this shit up.
Yeah, cause I don't believe that either.
No,
He carried the ball 299 times.
Oh wow, that you know what? That is actually surprising because the Patriots don't usually run the offense like that.
Yeah, but
not with a 300, not a 300 carry back. That's surprising.
Nah, probably since Corey Dillon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that was an anomaly before that.
But I mean, 3.8 yards per carry isn't really something that's impressive. So him carrying the ball 300 times really isn't anything to fucking brag about.
But it's not saying that I'm bragging about it. It's saying like, yo, you bringing in a guy with that many carries, and like, yo, he's gonna be worn down at some point in the season. That's what I'm worried about.
Every 300 carries is not created equal, bro.
Well, I hope you're right on that because it's all going to depend on how the Eagles use him. So all I can say is that I can't wait to see what the entire NFC is going to do come week 1 next week. Because I'm tired of trash talking. I just want to see what these teams are going to do.
I mean, that's interesting. So you say you don't think they're going to win the NFC East, so you think they're going to come in second place, or what?
As long as they get in the wild card, I don't give a damn. I mean, if they win the NFC East, that's great. But I ain't going to have that many high expectations for them. It's really until next season where I can see them having high expectations. Because they were supposed to get a fucking running back, and they didn't do that.
Well, you know how that went. Well, what are your thoughts, Bills, about what he said?
I mean, I don't disagree. I like Philly's team. I was thinking about using them in franchise on Madden. I like the team. I like their youth. I like their quarterback. He's already one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, and he's a favorite quarterback. He's my favorite quarterback that's been drafted since Andrew Luck. Just a personal favorite. But, I mean, we're going to have to see, man. The NFC East is a toss-up every year. So,
Yeah,
we're going to have to see, man.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I don't have anything else to say on top of that. I think it just that division is somewhat wide open, but at the same time, it's very competitive. It's not wide open to the point where you don't know who's going to win,
Right.
and because everybody sucks. It's like, yo, you have teams actually fighting now, like legitimately fighting. They're not fighting to be, 9-7, or you know what I'm saying. They're actually you're gonna have a couple of teams that may get possibly double digits, 2 of them possibly.
I'm saying.
I'm gonna go next, and my team is the Falcons, and we all know about 28-3. I'm pretty sure Bills knows all about 28-3.
Oh,
Yeah, but unlike these other low-life Patriots fans, I don't choose to tell that tired-ass joke, whatever. Just go.
I mean, I feel that when it first happened, I felt that we should be trolled for life. But then again, I look back at it, I'm like, look, we had 4 rookies that played in the Super Bowl in the secondary, on top of having, what's the Trufant, Desmond Trufant, out with a pectoral injury.
Oh.
Not to say that, it's an excuse, but, I mean, Tom Brady rips apart elite defenses who have veterans. So when you have 4 rookies and your elite cornerback is, out, I expect that. Now, do I expect that the Falcons should have sat on the ball? Yes, they should have. But neither here nor there. This is a new season, and I like the direction that we're going. We did get Dontari Poe. We do have a very formidable, a very good front 4. You got Beasley, you got Tech, you got Poe, and you got not Rashid Hankman. He just got cut. It was another guy.
Claiborne.
Yeah, Claiborne. There you go. I like the front 4. I like the linebackers. I like the defense a lot. I think this defense is going to be a lot better than what they were last year. They got better once the defensive coordinator last year got relieved of his duties, and you had Dan Quinn actually being the defensive coordinator for the last 8 games. They played a lot better, end up getting to the Super Bowl behind that, on top of a very good offense. We also traded for another guard that we needed because Schweitzer and Ben Garland, they just could not. They was competing for the left guard position because Chris Chester retired, and neither one of them act like they didn't want the starting job. So I like the direction that we're going. I think we're going to get better, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I want to see, the defensive side of the ball. The 4 rookies that were there, they're, got some experience under their belt. They understand how training camp and the practice and preseason goes now. I'm actually interested in that. Trying to think anything else. That's pretty much it. I'm looking at the division. I don't think the Saints are going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, you got Adrian Peterson and Mark Ingram. Like I said, our front 7 is going to look pretty good against the run game. Drew Brees is always going to pass the ball, but then again, we have firepower on the passing game as well. The Panthers, I'm not sold on them.
Me either.
I like McCaffrey. To me, he just reminds me of Reggie Bush. I know, Bills, you think highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't see him being to the point where it's going to change life into winning football games. I think he's going to be there to get a lot of yards. He may win a few games for them. He may set the tempo for them to win games, but I don't see them doing anything. On top of that, their secondary is fucking horrible. They have the worst secondary in the world. I think some kids off of some junior Pop Warner team could defend better than them.
That's debatable, Via. That's debatable. I'm telling you, there was a ton of bad secondaries last season, and that might even continue onward. I don't know if you've seen the Cowboys as of late, but their secondary isn't that good either.
The Cowboys secondary is bad, but what I saw in the preseason with the first string of the Panthers, that secondary is horrible. So I don't see nothing happening there.
Me and Virtual sat and watched these dudes get torn to shreds, first unit to third unit. There wasn't a change between the first unit to the second unit. I mean, they were just garbage across the board, bro. I've never seen secondary. Man, no. They were garbage then, too. I mean, they were putting up...
but Norman was hotting up that weakness like crazy, though.
He wasn't. They haven't been good.
No, he wasn't.
They have not been good since Josh Norman left.
They haven't been decent since Josh Norman left. They weren't good when Josh Norman was there. They gave up damn near 25 points against all these good teams that they played that year. They played a bunch of garbage-ass teams, and that's why they dominated.
Last year when we played them, Julio had 300 yards against them.
Right.
That's all you need to know. He had 300 yards by itself when we played him last year.
Their secondary as a whole.
It shouldn't be that embarrassing because Julio does that to just about
everyone. Julio don't get 300.
Not 300, but he dominates against every secondary in the league.
He does good, but he don't get
300 yards is in a completely different stratosphere.
Yeah,
I give you that.
That's Megatron type shit.
Right.
But then again, and then I look at the Bucks. And the Bucks look formidable. Something's telling me something's not clicking with that team for me. And they've been on Hard Knocks, and I think Hard Knocks is a curse. I don't think any team should be on that show. When you get on that show, bad things happen. But anyway, they look good. I'm not saying that they're bad. They look good. It's just something about that team. It just doesn't gel right to me to say that they will overtake the Falcons. I see the Falcons winning the division, getting back into the playoffs. Depending on the seeding of the playoffs, I can see them getting back to the Super Bowl because I look at the NFC in general. I don't see anybody in the NFC that can honestly compete with what the Falcons have compared to, what they've done in the offseason on top of what they already had. So I can see them at least getting to the NFC Championship game. I don't know what they're going to do after that because, like I said, the rest of the NFC just looked like they were walking They look like they were just walking on the treadmill while the Falcons was actually trying to run on the treadmill.
I
So
mean,
you
what
know
I've
what? The Falcons
gathered,
defense better do good because I got them in fantasy. No, you know now.
yeah. I mean, what I've gathered from the Buccaneers in the preseason so far is that what they are going to be really good at is living up to expectations of everybody else, but also having higher expectations for themselves. And even in games that they haven't performed well, they've still won because they're just that good. And I see them just being that good and just better than all the other teams they face this year for the most part because they just have that much talent, bro. So you look at almost every position, they are just that much better than the next person. I mean, you got Gerald McCoy on the line. You got Chris Baker on the line. You got Deshaun Jackson, who's a matchup nightmare. Mike Evans, who's a matchup nightmare. Jameis Winston, who's an up-and-coming quarterback. They got 2 running backs they can start. They got O.J. Howard out of Alabama who can block and catch the ball.
He's gonna be nasty. He's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you look at that team, they just look like one of those teams that are just better than people as soon as they step on the field.
See, that's what I'm saying. I gotta see them in motion.
Yeah.
'Cause to me, it's just like they look good. They look really good, but it's something about that team just telling me that they're not going to be where they're going to be. I expect.
It reminds me of the Bengals. The Bengals had a point in time where they stepped on the field, and if you looked at paper, you'd be like, these dudes, like, when they get on the field, like, they're just going to flat out be better than other people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like back in the Chris Henry and Chad Johnson days where they were stacked on defense, stacked on offense, and you saw when they stepped on the field, you're just like, this other team they're facing is not going to be able to stack up. And for whatever reason, I know what it is. It's that choke artist-ass coach who should have been fired years ago, but I'm not going to get into a spiel about him. We're going to see what Dirk Cutter's all about this year because he's going to be the X factor with this team. I don't think there's any doubt they're going to put up points. They got the talent to put up 30 points a game. We're going to see if they can do it, though.
I mean, Dirk Cutter's a good. I don't know if he's a good coach. I know he's a good coordinator. He used to be the coordinator in Atlanta, and he does have a really good offensive mind. And for me, it's like I see it. I see what they got. I see what they're working with. I see what they're going. But just something telling me about that team is that they're going to win maybe 9, pushing 10 games.
I could see them not play. I could see them playing down the competition.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I could see them doing something like that in messing up their whole vibe of where they really could go. So, like I said, that's where I see the Falcons at. Overall, I see them winning the division again. I don't see any barring injury for all of what we're saying, but I just don't see it because it's like the NFC as a whole. I see some teams made some improvements here and there, but when you look at the improvements of other teams compared to what the Falcons did, I mean they beefed up their defensive line. They got another good linebacker that played right along Deion Jones at LSU. And they already been formidable. So I'm looking at the rest of the NFC. I'm like, yeah, I just don't see it. If anything, I can say the Giants because the Giants did do good with picking up some players. And the Buccaneers, those two teams, yes.
Honestly, BF, the Giants is even debatable right now because it's not only their wide receivers when it comes to playoff experience, talking about Odell, talking about Brandon Marshall, who's never been in the playoffs, talking about Sterling Shepard, and we all know what happened when we went up against the Packers. But people seem to forget they didn't do anything to address the offensive line. That's why the NFC East is so wide open like it is. It's because each team got their weaknesses.
Well, that's
Point
true.
blank. Period. Especially in the NFC East, it's glaring. It's not like this guy's there and it's going to be he's going to try to negate it a little bit. No, it's wide open.
Well,
where they know that they can, take advantage of it. Cowboys, their defense.
The Giants got a pretty good backup quarterback. Geno Smith got the job.
I know. But yeah, Cowboys is their defense. Their defensive line or somewhat their secondary. Eagles, it's their secondary. Giants, it's their offensive line. It's straight bad. Like, really, really bad.
Yeah, they don't have too much of a running game either.
That's what I'm saying. It's because of their offense not being bad that they don't have a run game.
I mean, every team has weaknesses, dude. It comes down to having players great enough to cover those weaknesses. We can sit and talk about weaknesses all we want to, but I mean, those weaknesses never show themselves until they face top teams. So I mean, I think that's all just talk, to be honest.
So we're gonna jump over to the Patriots. And I know that's your team, Bills. And what?
That team almost has damn near none.
Man, yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for people listening to this. The reason I'm laughing is because our division's a fucking joke. Now, if any now for anybody that just wants to talk about playing in the easiest division in football, y'all can say that shit this year. Our division is hot garbage. Our division, we might not lose a divisional game this year. Like, I'm just being honest. We're gonna go 13-3, even with Edelman hurt. I
Bro,
think
y'all might go fucking 16-0, dog. I'm telling you. Because, like, on some real shit, there's no way that the Patriots right now do not have a better shot of going 16-0. That entire AFC conference is terrible.
I gotta check that. I don't
Bang.
know. I don't know about that.
Bang.
16-0.
Check your schedule. Bang.
Cool.
The entire AFC is terrible. The Raiders, and I said this before, the Raiders, in my personal opinion, are the closest team that can beat them right now. And with how their secondary look like in preseason, I hope to God it was just preseason. Because if they go up against them if it look like that, it's a wrap.
But I thought it was Bill's time to talk about the Patriots.
I know, but it's like, no.
I thought so too, man. So I can pretty much go through our schedule real quick because
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, most of these are going to be dubs. I mean, Chiefs, I got us winning opening week. Second week, we're at the Saints. That's a dub. Third week, we're home against the Texans. That's a toss-up, but I think that's a dub. Fourth week against Carolina, I don't think they can come to Gillette and beat us. At Tampa Bay, I have an L. We're going to take an L for that one. The Jets will win. Falcons at home, that's also a toss-up. Charger, you can say bullshit all you want to, bro.
That's gonna be a good game.
I don't think you understand the dynamic of a team that pretty much can take advantage of our weaknesses. We're going to play them at their place. You are overstating the Patriots just because you.
No, dog. The Jets are literally in tank mode right now. On some real shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's at their home or their Gillette.
Yeah, but you didn't even hear me. I was talking about the Buccaneers. So just relax. Like I said, week 6 is a dub against the Jets. Week 7 against the Falcons, toss up. Chargers.
That's gonna be a pretty good game.
That's a good game.
It's gonna be a damn good game.
Yeah.
So Chargers in week 8, that's a dub. At Denver, that's a dub. At the Raiders, I'm gonna say we're gonna take an L. And then we'll probably sweep the schedule after that. I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. We have at Pittsburgh. That might be an L. So we pretty much end up around 13-3, like I said.
Y'all gonna lose one of those games in Miami.
No.
No, I'm that serious. One of those games y'all gonna take a loss.
Not unless Matt Moore's out there.
You got Jay Cutler there, dog. You think he gonna care?
I'm telling you, it's just one of those divisional games. It's just gonna happen.
We've been having more trouble with the Bills, honestly, lately on the road. I remember we got stomped out from here. So, I mean, I would be more worried about the Bills. I'm not too worried about the Dolphins as long as Jay Cutler is going to be the one on the field.
So basically, it's going to be a runaway with the division, pretty much.
Bro, I mean, we're definitely going 7-1 or 8-0 in that division.
I can believe that.
We're not going to have any type of resistance until the playoffs come, and that's where it's going to get sketchy because the thing about the AFC is, unlike the NFC, they're not top heavy. Every team that makes the playoffs is legit. So
that's how I kind of feel with the Falcons. It's like, I'm looking at the rest of the NFL on the NFC side, and I mean the Cowboys. I don't see the Cowboys being who they are. Because their defense is just not that good. Trying to think, the Packers, same thing. You got Aaron Rodgers, but he don't play defense.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers can will a team to a win like they did against the Cowboys last year. But I mean,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The Cowboys defense.
I talk about more Aaron Rodgers, but it involves not him playing football. Obviously, it just involves his contract. You see, now, if he would have took less money, we could probably sit here and talk about this right now. If he probably took less money, the Packers would probably went out and got some more pieces on defense, so then that way they could be a more balanced team.
There were no pieces on defense to go get.
It's easy to money buys your defense, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Packers in general just drafted horribly on defense.
Yeah,
They they ju-
That
they
could
just
be
they
it.
just they
It
just
could.
had some they just had some whiffs on defense.
I mean, let's be honest. What's the last big trade that, besides Reeves going to New England, what's the last big trade defensively that turned a team into a contender? I don't remember one.
Right.
Honestly, I don't either.
So I mean,
I'm talking about free agency, but okay.
that's what I'm saying. Free agency. I mean, what free agent was picked up, defensive free agent that made a team a contender other than Reeves to New England? I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. Those are dudes that you draft and build with the coordinator. So I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, they better hope that Kevin King works out for him. He's a damn good corner over there in Washington,
Mhm.
but that's going to take time for him to really get the experience in
Man,
the NFL.
the NFC is just top heavy, man. I really don't see anybody giving the Falcons any trouble on the way to the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at this schedule, and I'm like, the Seattle game and the New England game, and both of them are away. You playing at New England, playing at Seattle. All these other games, I'm like, I'm looking at them. I mean, we play Chicago, we play Green Bay, we play Detroit, we play Buffalo, we play Miami, we play New York, the Jets. We play Carolina, we play Dallas, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, New Orleans. I mean, the schedule's like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't be surprised if y'all had an even better season than last year.
I can see us dropping one game to Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Beating,
Probably the away game.
yeah, beating Seattle, and probably a toss up between New England, and I won't be surprised if we lose to New England. I don't see us losing to Seattle again because, as a matter of fact, we should have won that game, but it was a pass interference call that wasn't called. But that's a different story. But
Something about New England's defense worries me.
Why? May I ask why? I mean, like
The lack of a pass rush.
that could be
well,
it.
I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, New England defense. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm not saying they got exposed or anything in the Super Bowl. They were getting manhandled. The problem with that was the Falcons just didn't know when to quit. They wanted to run their offense like they were still in the first quarter. And then people want to sit there and say, "Oh, 28-3 this and that." Yeah, we get it. Yeah, we blew it, but it wasn't because of the team couldn't do it. They just kept doing what they wanted to do. No, don't do what you want to do. Do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you do that, the game's over. They could have easily just ran the ball, kicked the field goal up by 11 with 2 minutes left. The game's over.
Yeah, that lack of a pass rush is worrisome to me. I don't like that. I mean,
Right.
it's gonna kill us against the upper echelon quarterbacks because if you can't rush Big Ben, you can't beat Pittsburgh, which is why I have us losing to Pittsburgh. At Pittsburgh.
I mean, even
And don't let Pittsburgh run
even-
away with that division and us suffer a letdown of any kind.
I mean, even with Big Ben, I mean, you could rush him and he still could make something happen.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
You
even
gotta-
then, I'm just like,
but when you're looking at other quarterbacks, you have to rush Matt Ryan. You give Matt Ryan's not going to move too much. He can move a little bit, but he's not going to move that much. You give him time. That's just a recipe.
and
for
I'm not
disaster.
even
That's
talking
what
about.
any other quarterback, almost every other quarterback that would be.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. Some teams are good enough to rush quarterbacks with their front, and some have to blitz. This is going to be a situation where we have to blitz, and I don't think our linebackers are good enough to cover our receivers, the receivers that we're going to play against, which we saw against Atlanta last year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, man. I just it's going to be interesting. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't wait. You know, the football season do start on Thursday at New England playing Kansas City.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be a good way to start off the season. And then, you know, all bets are off when Sunday comes. All the other games are going to be played. I'm going to be tuned in, and definitely next week on the podcast, we will be talking about them. I think that's just going to close it out. We've been going on about an hour and a half. I think we touched a lot of stuff. I think this was a really good podcast once again. Pooh, I do really, really appreciate you finally coming through. I know you've been wanting to get on for a while, and you're here.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
I hope everybody as well enjoyed the podcast. You can leave your comments in the comment section. You can like or dislike, which as long as you're watching, that's all that matters. In my opinion, I hope you take something from it. If you want to add anything to it, please let us know. All our Twitter handles will be down in the description. You can always come through and follow us and chop it up with us on Twitter. We would recommend you, well, we would like for you to keep it positive because we don't really want to whine and complain all the time. But yeah, anything else you want to say before we go, Bills?
Yeah, just topic in the comments section. Give your prediction for who you think is gonna at least make it to the Super Bowl. Even if you don't know who's gonna win, just early predictions for Super Bowl matchups. And yeah, we really encourage discussion in the comment section as well as on Twitter. So let's get that going.
Yeah, man. What about you, Pooh?
Almost the exact same thing, except that Steph is thinking like who's gonna win the Super Bowl. Might as well have it at this: who's gonna win their respective divisions first. Definitely like to hear people's opinions on who they think is going to win what. I mean, like especially on divisions that's really that can really get competitive, that can really get open. So I mean, everybody. If everyone's gonna put down in the comment section, they're gonna usually say, well, the Patriots, they're gonna usually win the AFC East. Falcons, they're gonna easily win the the NFC South. So it's like, the ones that can actually, post some competition.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could take baby steps to who can win the Super Bowl, but I mean, hell, just put it all in the comment section. We accept all of it, so it's all good. I don't have anything else, man. I hope you guys, if you made it this far, or you had to stop and come back and listen to the rest, I hope you guys really enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back next week with more content. Definitely with more of the podcast. I may drop a video or two this week. I don't know. I just be busy working, and there's a lot of ideas that I want to put out there on YouTube for you guys to watch. Like I said, all the information will be down in the comment section. You come through and follow us, or whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure you can catch these guys' YouTube's channels on their Twitter. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Later.